Welcome to the Bible Lore Expedition, where you and I embark on a journey of discovery. I'm your host, Javen. In the previous episode, we spoke about the birth of Isaac. In this episode, we will delve into Genesis 22, a deeply affecting and compelling narrative depicting Abraham's profound test of faith, known as the sacrifice of his only son, Isaac, who was born to Sarah, a free woman. The story begins with God calling out to Abraham, commanding him to take his only son Isaac, whom he loved, and offer him as a sacrifice on a mountain that God would show him. Despite the shock and horror of God's command, Abraham obeys without hesitation. The next morning, Abraham rose early to prepare for the journey. Abraham saddles his donkey and sets out with Isaac and two servants towards the land of Moriah, where God had directed him. As they journeyed, Abraham carried the wood for the sacrifice. Isaac innocently inquired about the lamb for the offering, to which Abraham responded with unwavering faith, stating that God would supply the lamb for the sacrifice. Upon reaching the designated mountain, Abraham builds an altar and arranges the wood. Then he binds his son Isaac and places him on the altar, ready to carry out God's command. Oh boy. Let me push pause here for a moment. Let's consider the perspective of Abraham. Can we be asked by God to sacrifice something dear to us? It may not necessarily be our children, but perhaps things that separates us from God. According to the Bible, written in Isaiah 59:2, it is sin that creates a rift between us and God. Now, for some, it can be quite difficult to relinquish or sacrifice worldly pursuits that offer temporary satisfaction. But I believe God has called us all to let go of things that keeps us away from God. Anyway, let's spin back to the story. Just as Abraham raises his knife to slay Isaac, an angel of the Lord calls out to him, commanding him to stop and not to harm the boy. The angel acknowledges Abraham's obedience and faithfulness to God, presenting a ram caught in a thicket nearby for Abraham to sacrifice in the place of his son. Abraham offers the ram as a sacrifice to the Lord and names that location, "The Lord will provide," recognizing God's faithfulness and provision. The story of Genesis 22 is a profound demonstration of Abraham's unwavering faith and obedience to God, even in the face of the most difficult and heart-wrenching test imaginable. Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his beloved son Isaac foreshadows the ultimate sacrifice of Jesus Christ, the beloved Son of God, who would willingly lay down his life for the redemption of humanity. The parallels between Genesis 22 and the story of Jesus Christ are striking. Both involve a father sacrificing his only beloved son. In Abraham's case, God provided a ram as a substitute sacrifice, sparing Isaac's life. Similarly, in the New Testament, God provides Jesus Christ as the ultimate sacrifice for the sins of humanity, sparing us from eternal separation from God. This story ultimately points towards the sacrificial death of Jesus Christ on the cross, highlighting God's provision of salvation and his unwavering love for his people. It serves as a powerful reminder of the depth of God's love and the importance of faith and obedience in the life of a believer. I hope you're enjoying these episodes. If so, please follow my podcast and enable that notification or bell icon to get notified of any new episodes that I put out. I'm your host, Javin.